Friends, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Leo May 2025 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. I'm calling the theme of this time for Leos, your boldest adventure yet, how the fire of this time can lift you into quantum leaps. So I'll get into all of those details. Plus, we've got Jupiter about to change signs, Neptune just changed signs, a lot of change in the cosmos, bringing new possibilities for you. This is for you if Leo is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Leo placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And very late degree Leo friends, so birthdays like August 15th through the rest of the sign, or Leo degrees 23 degrees through the rest of the sign. I suggest you additionally listen to my Virgo report, as you very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. Okay, so the first and most exciting thing to note is that still we have a massive stellium in Aries. Some short-term planets, some long-term planets, but the bottom line, a major showing of Aries energy. And this, of course, is fantastic for fire signs because it speaks your language. It adds fire to your fire instead of taking it away. We also have Leo, Mars in Leo, your sign, racing through your first house of Aries. So this is a time to go, go, go. And finally, that change we've been waiting for, where the tides, instead of going in since September, have changed and they are headed out. This tidal analogy is one that I use for helping to understand the natural rhythms of the universe because the tides come in and the tides go out. And when the tides are coming in, it's a time to wait on the beach and see what the tides bring to you and then deal with it. It's not a time to push out things on the tide to try to get them to go far and wide because the tides will bring them right back to you. So unless you're experimenting, which the very long personal planet retrograde phase was good for, we had Mars and Mercury and Venus in retrograde and all their shadow periods. And May 17th, that's the big day when the post-shadow transit period for Venus is completely done. So you will still be feeling momentum all month long. But if you want to get completely out of that shadow, things from May 17th on are fantastic. And there will be something I'll tell you about on May 18th that is also amazing for doing new things. Okay, so so this Aries energy, forward movement. The tides have shifted, forward movement. It's time to do your big, bold things, and you may find yourself embarking on your boldest adventure yet. This fiery doorway that is being spun open for Leo at this time is like nothing you've experienced in a long time. Mars going retrograde for the last 9 months, when you're talking about the pre-shadow period, the actual retrograde, the post-shadow period or transit shadow period. This has been all about reevaluating the behind the scenes, clearing out, getting ready for the new. And now, as of March, we had a lot of active information. You may have gotten news in March or thereabouts, even starting in February, March, April, very rich with news about your new direction in life. And now May is coming and things are starting to become implemented with your new way. And all of this fire is going to help you. So the fact that this Aries energy is crowded in your 9th house of adventures brings us this bold adventure energy, right? So long-term things, short-term things, Aries or Neptune just moving into Aries for the first time since the late 1800s. Neptune changing signs for the first time in 14 years. Neptune going to spend 14 years in a sign that's favorable for you, leading you on a path of your spiritual pursuits, leading you on a path of getting everything spiritually sound in your life and getting everything aligned. Whereas maybe your spiritual beliefs were over here and everything else was over here. Now is a time for them to be stacked nicely in a row and all aligned. You may have chances to travel near and far. You may have just gotten back from or planning long distance international travel. You may be ready to learn a language. You may be ready to educate yourself, to enrich your life, or to expand your financial options. And you may be able or be ready to teach. So all of these things are lighting up very boldly for Leo, and you will see how this fire party and the direct movement of the planets. And by the way, it's not just the personal planets that are moving direct right now. All of the outer planets, except Pluto, is going to shift this month. Everything else is just flowing forward. Now, in the days around the 18th, and actually really, truth be known, all of April, all of May, all of June brings us into an alignment with Chiron, the wounded healer, and Jupiter, the great expander, in a lovely angle. So things that were hard for you in the past can suddenly become easy. Things that, were a sticking point for you can suddenly be, amazing. You, for instance, getting fired could be opening you up to the life of your dreams. So something salty that happened, something that could be considered challenging that happened. Now in April, May, and June, you may be starting to see how those things were actually working for your good. And they completely align on May 18th. But when we're talking about outer planets, they move slowly. So they're together for a long time in whatever configuration they're making. And in this case, it's a good configuration. So, even in February, March, April, they was starting to build. But April, May, and June, you're really getting the goodness of this, of being able to see the things you really need and to communicate those things and to receive those things. So like I said, if you have to start something new, beautiful time. The 18th, you're free of all the Venus retrograde mischief, and you've got locked in this outer planet beautiful connection. Okay, before I move forward, I want to give you a couple of more dates. The days around May 12th, we've got the full moon in Scorpio. This can bring something with a close relationship to a head or a manifestation, specifically things involving your home, your family, your housing may come to a head at this time in the days around May 12th. If you have to move, if you have to put your house up for rent, if you have to find a new place, May is full of opportunities for this, and those days around the 12th, you may see something notable happening. All right, another set of dates, the days around May 26th, that's going to be the new moon in Gemini. So you may find yourself packing for a trip, getting a vehicle, upgrading your devices, having something new and important happen with your groups, your community, a new step of building something new. I do have more to talk about, but I just want to let you know that if you like the dates, go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in, get the welcome letter, click on the archive link, and put May 2025 Astrology to get my monthly written star report. I put a lot of time into this report every month, and I detail out the sweet and salty dates, which, by the way, this month we have 5 times more sweet aspects compared to the salty ones. Just a couple of nuisance things and 4 or 5 that could go either way. And I do outline all of that in the report. So if you like the dates, definitely go there and get that. Okay, so moving on, let's go to the next level of checklist here. Okay, so talked about this beautiful Aries energy in the 9th house. Some of the things you can do with this is to take the leap, make your bold decision, don't overthink it, jump into these new experiences literally head first. Say yes to travel or a new environment, whether it's an actual trip or a mental shift, a perspective change. New places are definitely going to bring these game-changing inspiration for you at this time. Enrolling in learning, something that excites you. That, courses, certifications, self-studies that fuel your fire can take you much further than expected. And if you happen to want to study astrology, I'm your girl. Go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com. And yeah, so anything that you want to expand your consciousness in, this is a time to do that. Challenge your limiting beliefs. This 9th house rules beliefs that we have on a greater level. Having Aries in this place right now gives you a chance to rewrite your personal philosophy. Are outdated ideas holding you back? Maybe so. And maybe this may be a time where you can rewrite those. This may be a time to take public something you've been creating, like publishing or a class or a course that you're teaching. It may be a good time to say yes to a financial or career move. And we'll talk about that more as we talk about the planets in Taurus as they're lighting up your house of employment. Something else I have on my list for you is to go all in with a passion, something that you are fervently excited about. Mars in your sign can be definitely bringing you to the obsessive level with things that you're into right now. It's definitely not a time for half measures. It's a full commitment type of thing where you go all in. And also trust that the first step will lead to more. This is very much about momentum. We're rebuilding momentum that had been gone for a long time. And you might not have to wait until you see the full picture to make forward movements. You can start the business, the book, the big project now, and your future self will be thanking you for what you're going to be doing at this time. Okay, so at the same time as we have this wild fire energy, we simultaneously have a stellium in Taurus. We've got long-term Uranus there, although Uranus is going to change signs later this year as well. I'm not going to get into that right now. But the Sun, Hygeia, Mercury will get there, Venus will get there, all in very steady, focused Taurus. This is a nice grounding cord for all of this fire right now. So in certain ways regarding your employment or your passion projects that you may not be getting paid for, your place out in the world, basically, whether you get paid for it or not, you're slowing down in certain ways, or you're speeding up and you're planting major seeds to focus on building something lasting in your career, your reputation, your long-term success, retirement. Taurus doesn't rush. It creates stability and wealth and influence over time. And it may be that you are starting to reap the rewards of a lifetime of work in a certain field where you're able to get the raise or the job or something that you really want that, can sustain you for a long time to come and can be the embodiment of what you've already done for all this time. So some good things on the checklist to do at this time: commit to a long-term career goal, dive into a new job, no more jumping between ideas. What's the thing that you're ready for to build for real or to benefit from that you have been building for real? Something else that can be on your checklist now is to strengthen your personal brand, your reputation. Definitely this energy is being seen out in the world. So what do you want to be seen as? An expert, an authority in your field? Plant the seeds now or reap the rewards from what you've done already. Focus on steady financial growth and using your money in wiser and more discerning ways. Sometimes you can all of a sudden be earning more money by just spending less. So kind of thinking about those things. Investing, pondering the topics of investment of not just your money, but also your time, and really investing in what energetically aligns for you. Taurus is teaching us quality over quantity and is helping you to eliminate distractions and stay focused on your end game goals. Something else this is about on your checklist is strengthening professional relationships and drawing off of ones that you've already established. So this solid, reliable, series of connections that you've had over time can really be feeding you now. While the Aries energy is going to want you rushing into certain things, there's going to be this corresponding slow build or careful evaluation process going on as you work towards this tangible career milestone. Promotion, a business expansion, a launch of your new business, something like that. And of course, balancing ambition with self-care. Taurus is very much about the physical steps that you take to take care of yourself. Aries is about the motivation and inspiration that you have for self-care and starting to put yourself first. And Taurus is about the actual steps. So this is a time for seed planting. Taurus is the garden builder, seeds that will grow over time and things that have the potential to last for decades. So choose wisely. I can't remember now if I mentioned that I did do a separate video on Neptune and Aries, so I'm not really going to cover that right now. So just look for Annie Botticelli, Neptune and Aries. It's in podcast form and video. I do have a general, very descriptive general report for all the signs, but I also do timestamp it towards the end to give you some specific things for your sign. So if you want to know more about that. Jupiter's getting ready to change signs. You have a little bit longer of Jupiter expanding your communities, and maybe some of these other things that are very active right now might be bringing you to a new place where you'll be meeting new people. And Jupiter is starting to influence in the 12th house, which means that your intuition is going to have a year of support from Jupiter expanding your inner world, conquering the demons, getting to own your mental space and get to know your psychological space and clearing out the gunk in there and activating your hidden gems. So that's what this next year is going to be very much about with Jupiter in this placement. We have a lot of outer planets changing signs. We've got Jupiter about to, Neptune just did, Uranus will be in July. If you want to know how the changing of these signs will affect your personal chart, what you're in for the long term with these changes, plus understanding the general outer planet transits more, go to AnnieBClarity.com, Annie, the letter B, Clarity.com, and get your personalized outer planet transit report put together by me. I have videos on each of these topics that will be specific for you, but also separate videos that will give you more about the general transit, so you've got the best of both worlds. If you want to learn astrology with me, go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com. I can teach you how to have a viable astrology business or just help the people in your life that are important to you and yourself. And remember to go to anniehelpsyou.com to see all of my offerings and to capture that monthly written star report with the sweet and salty dates. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.